Hi there. So nice of you to join me again in my kitchen, and we're going to do something very special today. We're going to make gourmet vinegars. You probably have seen them in gourmet stores, and also they're showing up now in the local grocery stores, and they're quite expensive, but very easy to make. So I thought I'll share that with you today on how to make gourmet vinegars. There are a lot of books on the market right now that you can pick up that will explain how to make vinegars, and I want to show you some illustrations here. Aren't these wonderful? Let me see, there is another one, this page right here. Can you see? And they used all kinds of bottles and jars to do that. So, oh, here, this is the one I want to show you. Isn't that nice looking? So go in your attic, in your basement, in your shed. I'm sure you have some bottles laying around somewhere. Do not throw them away because they become treasures. And you also can buy bottles now in hardware stores, import stores. They're popping up all over the place. So do not fear. There are plenty bottles out there. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you have some antique ones at home. So let me show you some of the bottles that I have here today. This one is really special, and it's painted. It has peppers on it. And then I have one here that has a little bit of an edging with some room for a label that's round. And this really is one of my favorite shapes. It's square and tall. The herbs that we're going to put in here will show up really, really well. So it's also, not only it's going to be a treat for your palates, but it's also be a visual treat for you. So these are some of the bottles we have, and then I also have some that I made already or that we bought in the store. This one I made a couple of months ago. And look at the shape of this bottle. And I put rosemary and different herbs in here. And then I love this. And I don't know what this was, if this was a little liqueur bottle, or but anyway, I happened to save that, and I put parsley and sesame seeds and other things in this vinegar. So this is, I think, really sweet too. And then a couple of friends made this. And this is just an instant coffee jar that they saved, and they put in a lot of herbs, and I opened that up just before we started taping this, and I have to tell you, it's just wonderful. So doesn't have to be fancy. Can be just, and I recommend that you use glass, just because we're going to use vinegar, and you don't want to use plastic because there might be a reaction happening between the vinegar and the plastic. So do use glass. So this is another one. And in here, Susan picked this up in a gourmet store somewhere. Again, a little bottle that has, this is more of a fruit vinegar. And we were discussing this before. They must have used dried fruit. Look at the apple slices. They're quite big. And so they probably expanded while they were sitting in the vinegar. But look how attractive this little bottle is. And then I have a bigger one here that was also purchased in the store. And this is really, really a fancy container right here. And it has a little spigot. But can you see? They put dill in there and peppers. And how attractive this looks. You can have this on your kitchen windowsill. And I would recommend it to have, when we're done with this, when I showed you this, to have that in the sunlight. I am not going to heat up the vinegar. It's just going to be cured over time. So this is the time to make it if you're planning to give away gourmet Christmas gifts. So isn't this is just very, very attractive. And then I also want to show you another bottle that I just received, and isn't this neat? Very tall, slender bottle, and it'd be great just for maybe one big branch or sprig of herbs in there. And I also like this little, I don't know what it is, pourer, spigot. I don't know what you would call that. But anyway, this is going to be of good use and also very, very attractive. So this would be your first thing that you need, is some kind of bottle or jar of your choice. Has to be glass. I would recommend glass. And then also do sterilize these bottles like you just would sterilize your canning jars, because we want to start off with a very clean container. So let me put this back here. So if you found your bottles, then all you need is vinegar. And today I'm just going to use good white vinegar. You can use wine vinegar if you want. Also, that will limit you a little bit what you're going to put in your containers. So start out with, if you like, with a very pure white vinegar. And then the most important ingredients are herbs. Can you see? And this is a really good time to harvest herbs because they're quite strong. I have some French tarragon here, and you just touch it, and you have the scent on your finger and hands. Also, the basil is blooming. I left one basil bush just go. I'm hoping it will reseed itself, so I'll have some next year. But look how attractive this is, and we're going to put that in. It's also very, very strong, so you have a good sense in there that will just incorporate with your vinegar. Another interesting herb that I have and that I want to show you is Greek oregano. Very nice velvety leaves and a nice solid stem. So this would be also perfect to push into the bottle. And then our favorite and the old standby, rosemary. I can't just tell you how wonderful this smells. Again, very delicate leaves and a good solid little stem, almost a branch. So the rosemary and they're little tough, good plants. Unfortunately, they're just annuals, so we can't keep them all year around unless you dig them up and put them in your pot and put them in the kitchen or in some room of your house. Let me see what else I have. Of course, chives. You get a little bit of an onion flavor in your vinegar. It's also real easy to handle. Just push this in. And then also parsley. And if you remember, this little jar or little bottle has a lot of parsley in it. Now the herbs will turn a little bit brownish gray, as you can see here, but that is not that bad. You'll enjoy the flavor of the vinegar, so it will turn a little bit, but that's okay. So don't be alarmed. Nothing will spoil because the vinegar has so much acid in it that nothing could go wrong. The only thing that might happen is that you mix up or put too many herbs in it, and so it's quite strong. But what you can do is you can dilute it, so there'll be no problem. So when we come back, let's start with one or two bottles, and then I'll just show you how to do that. So let me show you how easy it is to do this, and we're going to do this square bottle first. And the only tools you need is maybe if you have some chopsticks left over from your Chinese dinner and a little skewer, and then what I'm going to do is, this is rosemary. I'm just going to stick that in. Look already how pretty that looks. So, rosemary. Let's see. Whoops. Maybe a little bit of Greek oregano, because that has a little bit of a sweeter taste. And you just kind of guide it down there. Can you see? And then good old chives. There, another chive maybe. I'll cut this in half because you don't want to have it that long. Right there. Oh, I think maybe a little bit more rosemary. Let me get the scissors. Okay. Kind of stick that in. There. And then I think we're going to just cut a little bit of pepper that I have right here. See, I have it hanging here, these little peppers. And I got these at the farmer's market. We're just going to stick 2 of those in. And then also peppercorns. So this is you can buy them in the store. These are the peppercorns that you put in your pepper mill. They're these little round balls to add a little bit of spice. And I don't know, it depends on your taste. Just a few to throw in. There. I think, what else? Yeah, let's just keep this very simple. And the next thing you wanted to do is just fill it with vinegar. You can use a funnel if you want, but this little measuring cup works quite well. I need a little bit more. There, a little bit more. And what I usually do is I fill it up to the bottom of the neck right here, or maybe a little bit more, because we need a little room in there for the pepper to expand. So that's all to it. See? Can you see how pretty this is? You have the peppers, you have the chives, you have the rosemary, and then also the peppercorns. That's all to it. And then you can close it with just with a normal cork like this, or I have some of these really nifty corks that a good friend of mine gave to me. You can dress that up. That's all to it. So let's make this into a really kind of nice gift. So there you have it. Now what you would do is you would have that standing on your windowsill or in the kitchen for 2 months. And then it's ready to be used and ready to be given away. Now, of course, we have to dress this up. And I have here some garlic that I found. Actually, I bought this from a florist. They had that, well, Not that easy, it's all brittle. Let's see what we can do. There's some raffia. Let's take this. Let's see if we just can. Okay. I'm gonna just put some raffia around the neck. There. Take my garlic. Come on, garlic. Put my garlic in. Tie it one more time because we want to see that pretty braid. That's the beauty about raffia. You can do anything you want with it. Well, come on, cooperate. There you go. We need to just tie that underneath somehow. Come on, get through here. Okay, what did I do with my scissors? Right here. Stick some garlic in. And look at this. Now wouldn't that make a lovely gift for Christmas? Also, you can make a label that you can, these self-adhesive labels you can stick on, or you can create your own. And maybe if you have a little artist in your family, create a label. But I think this is quite attractive. So just put that in your windowsill, in the kitchen, over in a sunny room. And for Christmas, you have a lovely gourmet gift for the person that has everything. And it's hard to buy, but I think, anyway, I would enjoy getting a gift like this. So now I made a good mess here. So let's make another bottle. Let's make this one. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. And this would be more of a fruity vinegar that you would use for spinach. So to give it a little bit of a sweet taste, I'm going to put in whole cloves. These are those little spicy things. I don't know if you can you see it? And you put in a few of these. Yeah, excuse me. And then I'm going to put in some basil. Let's see if we can get that in without totally destroying it. It's harder to see because it has an edging in this bottle, but there's a little bit of room. And then when we fill it up with the vinegar, I think the leaves are going to go down there. And actually, the herbs are going to do whatever they want to do after you fill it up with vinegar. So we have some basil in here. Let's get some parsley. Just force that in. little bit more. So, and then fill that up with vinegar. And as you can see, I put a towel underneath this bottle, so just in case we drip a little bit, then it will be soaked up by the towel and you won't have a mess on the table. And there you go. This little measuring cup is quite handy. Okay, need a little bit more. Almost full. So if you're lucky enough to have an herb garden, this would be really an inexpensive gift to give. The only investment would be the bottle and the vinegar, and then the herbs you would have in your garden. Or maybe if you don't have an herb garden, maybe you have a friend that has one, and be very glad to share that. So let's make this into a very elegant bottle. So can you see the little gloves? They're floating around, and after they soak up the vinegar, they were probably going to end up on the bottom of the bottle. Do not fear. The taste or the scent and the taste of it will go all into the vinegar. So that's about it. Very, very easy to make, and looks kind of fancy, don't you think? People will think you picked that up in a very exclusive gourmet shop. Nothing to it. So if you have a bottle, vinegar, and herbs, that's all you need. Also, I want to tell you, like I said, some novelty stores are starting to get wonderful bottle toppers in now. We have one store here in town that has pewter and silver ones, so they're really, really nice. A little bit on the expensive side, but if you want to give some beautiful gift, you can kind of jazz it up. And these corks right here, I discovered you can buy in hardware stores. And they're starting to carry them now from very, very small to quite large. So if you have a bottle and you don't have a topper, take your bottle to the hardware store, and the people will be glad to find you just the perfect cork that will go in a bottle. It's important that the bottles or the containers are closed, because you don't want to get any dust or pollutant in there. So that's all for this. I hope you enjoyed that. Good luck with making your own gourmet vinegar, and it will give you a little bit start on your Christmas present situation. I know that can get kind of hectic in December, but if you start early, it'll be a little bit easier. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time. Good night, Fairfield.